Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Calvin Tobin Show. I am your host, Calvin Tobin. Today we have a lot to talk about, so let's get right into it. Oh, right. The Indiana Pacers and the Phoenix Suns were in a battle for the center, DeAndre Ayton. And what started off as DeAndre Ayton being a free agent, a restricted free agent, and where he potentially could go next, the Indiana Pacers ended up offering DeAndre Ayton a 4-year, $133 million offer sheet deal. And from there, the Phoenix Suns had 48 hours to match that deal, or the Pacers were going to end up with Ayton because DeAndre Ayton did end up signing that deal. But the Suns wasted no time, and I mean no time whatsoever, because they did this in the fastest time in NBA history. Because with the 4-year, $133 million offer sheet deal, that was the largest offer sheet deal in NBA history. And then the Suns matched that offer in NBA history record time, and they did it in 3 minutes. And the reason that the Suns had to do this was, for one, is everyone is dying to get KD or Donovan Mitchell, but they're leaning more towards KD. And the Indiana Pacers originally did this because they thought this would limit the Suns from getting Kevin Durant. And the Suns have offered trade offers to the Brooklyn Nets to see what they can get for KD. But as of right now, the Suns have no signs, no traction, no clues of anything from the Brooklyn Nets that they are going to get Kevin Durant. But even with offering for Kevin Durant, it's a good thing that the Suns were able to retain DeAndre Ayton, because that means that they were able to retain that team completely, especially their big trio when Chris Paul, Devin Booker, and DeAndre Ayton. The Suns definitely want to keep that 64-win team from last year and keep this team going, because who knows if they're going to get that chip anytime soon, because over the last couple of years, they have been the favorites. But here's the thing. DeAndre Ayton had himself a dominating year. He shot 63% from the field on shooting 12 shots or more. And the last player to do this was Wilt Chamberlain. So that shows how much greatness, potentialness that DeAndre Ayton has for his future to come. But here's the thing. As of right now, offering DeAndre Ayton a 4-year, $133 million deal, DeAndre Ayton is not worth that money, at least not yet, especially when it's $33,250,000 a year. DeAndre Ayton is not there yet. He's not a superstar just yet. Give him about 2 to 3 years at max from the kind of year he just put up in this 64-win year with the Phoenix Suns. He has a shot at being there, and then he is worth that kind of money. But who knows? Maybe during this contract, he can live up to that contract. There's a huge possibility that he could do that. But like I said, it's a good thing that they retained this team, because they want to keep this team, and who knows how much longer that they can keep this domination up. Now, domination, grit, toughness, and talent is what Jason McCourty left out all on that field for 13 seasons, as he has just now announced his retirement. He played for 4 teams: the Tennessee Titans, the Cleveland Browns, the New England Patriots, and the Miami Dolphins. He played with the Tennessee Titans for a majority of his career, and he was able to play with along with his brother in New England as well. But the most interesting thing about Jason McCourty's career is that He played for the Cleveland Browns, but that's when they went 0-16, being the second team in NFL history to go 0-16 back in the 2017-2018 team. The original team that did it was the 2008 Detroit Lions. Now, being with that, he literally went from playing with one of the worst teams in NFL history to one of the best teams in NFL history, because he went from 0-16 one year to being a Super Bowl champion with the New England Patriots and his brother the next year. Like, you can't get any better than that. Talk about poetry in motion. But here's the thing, with McCourty's career, it wasn't, other than that Super Bowl, his career wasn't all that impressive. He played 173 games, got 18 interceptions, forced 9 fumbles, and in totality finished his career with 598 tackles. Now, just maybe might get into the Hall of Fame, but after last year's Hall of Fame class, I'm convinced anybody can get in, because there were players that retired in the 60s, the 70s, and the 80s that all got into the Hall of Fame. So that shows me that anybody can get into the NFL Hall of Fame. So Jason McCourty has himself a shot, but it's definitely not going to be first ballot Hall of Famer, because he wasn't like that. He wasn't that kind of a player. Might be second, third, or maybe even fourth ballot, but he does. But like, based on last year, he does have a chance at getting into the Hall of Fame. But congrats on your career, Jason McCourty. Definitely not easy, forgettable guy from his tenacity on the football field. So, Juan Soto made one of the dumbest moves in MLB history. He denied a 15-year, $440 million contract. Like, are you kidding me? This just shows that countless of more players, our egos are just getting higher and higher and higher. He denied this contract and demanded a trade. But which I'm not entirely surprised, because as of right now, in the first half of this 2022 MLB season, the Nationals are the worst team so far, as they are 30-62, the worst team in all of baseball right now. But here's the thing, the MLB has got to stop. This has got to stop so they can stop scaring players off so easily. They are offering a 12, 13, 14, 15-year contract, and the contracts are just ridiculously high, and it's always record kind of money when it's at this level. Like, if the MLB and the MLB teams need to stop doing this. They need to be along the lines of the NFL and the NBA, where it's between 3 and 5 years, but make it the same amount of money per year as you would have offered when it's 12 to 15 years. Because based on the contract that Juan Soto was offered, he was going to average $29,333,333 per year, which is just under $30 million, but practically $30 million per year. I totally get why Juan Soto denied it. It's because the contract was 15 years long. Like, the more the players get offered these kind of contracts, the more scared these players are going to get. But at the same time, egos are at an all-time high. So, but here's the thing. I can't really blame Juan Soto. It's not entirely 100% ridiculous. It's 98%, just based on my prediction. It's 98% ridiculous and 2% not. But like I said, it's because of the 15-year length. Like, that's what's scaring these guys. If it was 3 to 5 years, different story, and you're keeping your dude. But these players don't want to get stuck in one place the entirety of their career, no matter how good or the bad the team is, depending on how good that team is, though. Because if they're on a good team, they might stay, but still, 15 years is a long time. Because that would put Juan Soto at the age of 38 when that contract finishes, if he signed it. But like I said, like, players are moving all around. Like, and this is all because of LeBron James. Like, LeBron James, like, let alone in basketball, he spread this out throughout the entire sports world. Not just regular players, but superstar players are moving from team to team. They're being their own businessman to see where they can go to get a ring and see how long they can keep up that domination for in getting that ring. So that's seriously one thing that the MLB needs to fix. They lowered down the years, they can stop scaring players, and it's all good to go. Because as long as the MLB does 12 to 15 year type of contracts, even if it's like $200 to $400 million contracts, and it's a ridiculous amount of money, these guys aren't signing that contract, because if they're on like the Washington Nationals, the Oakland A's, based on this year, or the Orioles, who are just naturally horrible every single year, practically at the bottom of the league every year, no player is going to stay with that team. It's just not going to happen. So on the good side of news, Amazon Prime Video is offering former superstar Saints QB Drew Brees a job. And what this job offer is they're offering him to be on an alternate telecast during Thursday Night Football for it to be QBs only. Now, with that, this would be really cool, because this would be something similar to a point on what the Manning brothers are doing, where they critique the entire game on Monday Night Football. But on Thursday Night Football, we see Drew Brees talking about the QB's perspective and see what's going on from their perspective during that game. This would be really cool, because, like, Drew Brees has gotten a lot of great opportunities. One with a reporting job, and now Amazon wants to get him on Thursday Night Football. And this just shows how much the NFL is changing, because now we can get former superstar or even former all-star players to give it from their perspective and see what these players are going through and give fans a better perspective on how the game goes. And from that just shows like how much better and how much more enjoyable and how much of a better understanding these fans can get of the game, instead of where casual fans are just like, they have a bad game, they're just like, oh, he sucks, he this and that, where they're just instantly going to like, oh, he sucks, he's not this guy anymore, and whatnot. But we're going to see a lot of changes between now and 2025, because sports is changing fast from what has happened over the last year and a half or so. Sports is changing by a lot, and I'm ready for it. So let's see what more the NFL is going to go through. And right now, the Saints Nation is going through it, because Sean Payton could potentially return as a NFL head coach in 2023. Now, with Sean Payton returning, who knows if he's going to return to the New Orleans Saints, because based on their situation, because Drew Brees is now gone, Jameis Winston is the QB now, so who knows if he's going to return as a head coach for them. And when 2023 comes around, if he stays in that mindset where he does return as an NFL head coach, maybe he might go to a different team. Maybe he coaches the Bucks if Tom Brady maybe stays the 24th season. Or could he coach the Minnesota Vikings, because they're on the come up as a very talented team for years to come as well, with Justin Jefferson and Dalvin Cook at the helm right there? Or is he going to return to the Saints and continue and just completely finish out his career as the Saints head coach? Who knows? We'll see. And besides, this is just a could situation. Sean Payton could change his mind when 2023 comes around, but we'll see when that happens. All right, that's the end of the Calvin Tobin Show. Please subscribe to my channel at Calvin Tobin Show so you don't miss out on any sports media. And please follow me on Instagram at Calvin Tobin Show so you don't miss out on any sports news whatsoever. And I'm out.